baby. Pow! Right in the kisha. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Philadelphia Eagles play the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota after a week in which we were in basically hell. One of the worst spots you can be in as a team, at least vibes-wise, not record-wise. The fan base was questioning the quarterback, the coaching staff, the organization. People still are, by the way. But yet, when you look at the press conferences that happened just on Wednesday, everybody seems to be hunky-dory. Everyone seems to be fine. The vibes seem to be immaculate. Everyone seems to be very confident going into this Vikings game against the team that everybody who is skeptical of the Philadelphia Eagles was looking at and saying, hey, you know what? The Carson Wentz revenge game, the Isaiah Rodgers revenge game. You got Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in football. Jordan Addison, who is damn good at football. And plus Adam Thielen, who gave Cooper DeJean the sauce the last time he saw him on the field. And that was in Carolina. Plus you have TJ Hawkinson. It's a good team in Minnesota that you're going to be playing against. Have they played up to their potential? Probably not. But still a good football team, similar to the Denver Broncos. That's a game we lost, by the way. And it's Carson Wentz, who is probably the most ultimate wild card in the NFL, maybe outside of Jalen Hurts at this moment. Everyone who is a skeptic of Jalen Hurts in this Philadelphia Eagles football team is looking at Carson Wentz saying, we shouldn't have let that man go. We really should have just stuck with him. And you know what? He's going to come in here and light us up. He's going to light us up like a Christmas tree. Maybe you're right, because quite frankly, I know it says the injury report. Let me pull up the injury report, by the way, because I have it here. That landed Dickerson's limited participation in practice. Maybe he'll play, maybe not. I say he shouldn't. Quinyon Mitchell's hamstring. They're saying he's limited participation in practice. And quite frankly, anybody who knows anything about a hamstring, once you get it, it's going to linger. The only way to get rid of it is to get rid of it, basically. You got to make sure that that strain is as 100% as it can be with rest, exercises, all that stuff. That's just medical data. That's just, common sense in that sense. So anybody who's thinking Quinyon Mitchell, because he practiced on the field today, is going to be able to go out on the field on Sunday and try to cover Justin frickin' Jefferson, you're out of your damn rocker. You're out of your damn mind to think he's going to be able to do that at an effective level. So you're better off sitting him down, which I think is what's going to happen. So now Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson are licking their chops because they see a Dory Jackson on one side and Keely Ringo on the other, and they're thinking, well, for fuck's sake, they can't double the both of us. And then you have Adam Thielen, who is not afraid of Cooper DeJean. Carson Wentz just has to put the ball in their vicinity. Now, to his credit, he is very capable of doing it. It's got one of the better arm talents in the National Football League in Carson Wentz. The problem is he's a knucklehead on the football field. He'll give you chances to take the ball away. He'll hold on to the ball and take sacks, similar to what happened in Philadelphia. Isn't that interesting? That's probably an Easter egg for another episode down the line, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for that one. But again, this is a game that Carson Wentz is going to give you a chance to win. And maybe the Philadelphia Eagles know that. And that's probably why they're so confident going into this game for whatever reason. That's temperamental of a bunch as they are. And we're going to talk about the reasons why Philadelphia could potentially win this game, or why this could potentially be a dogfight, which I think it's going to eventually be. I think it will be a dogfight, but ultimately Philadelphia is going to win, in my opinion. But before I do that, let me introduce you to the show. I'm just kidding. That was a really bad Peter Griffin impression. This right here is the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. I'm your host, Asif Body, and like you, I am a Birds fan who talks about the birds, only the birds, and nothing but the Philadelphia Eagles. So please do us a favor here. Help us grow this channel organically by shooting this video a thumbs up, commenting your thoughts in the comments section below, and subscribing to the channel. Also, check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and leave a 5-star review, because in the end, it doesn't cost you a damn thing to go ahead and hit subscribe and that thumbs up icon. We appreciate your support on the opposite side of the camera and on the opposite side of the airwaves. Again, this game is in Minnesota. The game spread, Vegas has the spread at 2.5. So they're calling this a pick'em game for a team that's on the road that just played the Giants the way that they did. Calling a game at Minnesota with that defense and Brian Flores and that offensive receiving set, a pick'em game. They got a lot of faith in the talent of Philadelphia. They got a lot of faith in that locker room over there. And listen, when you name the players on that team and you look at the locker room, of course you're going to believe in the talent. However, despite the talent, you have to look at how the Philadelphia Eagles have played all year long. And they have played a football style that has been very frustrating and kept teams in ball games. And we just saw last week the Minnesota Vikings march down the field on a game-winning drive to seal the game. So you got to believe that team going into this football game against the Philadelphia Eagles with Carson Wentz leading the charge here, that they're going to go out and play a little extra hard for the guy if they truly love him. And I mean love him in the football sense, not actually love the man because, again, unless something special has happened in 3-4 weeks in Minnesota, I doubt that they love the man at this point. But you get I digress. Point being is, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison are licking their chops. Adam Thielen's not afraid of this moment. And Carson Wentz, say what you want. I think he's looking at his roster and he's saying, last time I would play against Philadelphia, I was on the Commanders and I had nothing like this. I got a coach who fits my skill set. I have a great pair of wide receivers, which I never had in Philadelphia. I have a really good tight end who I could trust, a decent running game, and a defense that can bail me out at times. I mean, that's a pretty good recipe for Carson Wentz. However, Philadelphia, it's the best talented roster in football. It's the youngest roster in football. On offense, it's the most expensive offense in the NFL. However, the offense hasn't looked very good, but you still have the playmakers of AJ and Devontae. And I'm not gonna go through the whole spiel of naming every player. We know who they are. And at some point, the talent is going to take hold here, and scheme is somehow going to meet in one of these games. We saw it last year against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We saw it against the Commanders, and obviously in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. Something similar can be happening here right now in Philadelphia, which is why everybody seems to be so confident going into this game. It really makes no sense to me. I have no idea where the confidence is coming from in Philadelphia outside of the belief that, the Giants just caught us off guard and we didn't really want to play on Thursday night, which is more of an indictment on the organization and the fucking coaching staff, if you ask me. How could you not be ready to play a division game against the Giants, but be ready to play Minnesota on the road? Listen, maybe that ass whooping was a wake-up call for this football team, and they come out and just absolutely annihilate the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I don't know if they're going to get a blowout here, but win the game comfortably and be in control all throughout is what you would hope for as an Eagle fan. However, like I mentioned before, Carson Wentz versus this defense and the wide receiver core that he has is going to throw it all over the yard. You're not stopping Justin Jefferson. You're not slowing down Jordan Addison. So this is going to be a game in which the offense has to pick up slack because I think the Vikings are going to put up points. And now the question for everybody else here in regards to this game is whether or not you believe the offense can make up the deficit that's going to be felt on defense. If you are a player in Philadelphia right now, you say, yes, we feel confident about it. We got some things to work on, but we're going to get there. It's just a matter of when. If you're a fan of the Eagles, a biased fan, I should say, you're going in with blind eyes and you're saying the Eagles are going to win this football game. They're going to do good. Despite how we play, we're 4-2. If you're an objective fan, you look at this roster and you look at this team and you say, what the fuck are we doing over here? Disappointing ass bunch. That's where I am right now. I'm disappointed in this football team right now. You don't lose 2 straight the way that you do in the fashion that you do with the talent that you have. And you're going up against the team right now in Minnesota who has new faith in a quarterback that they brought in that's fitting the skill set of what they want to do. And you have come back-to-back weeks where your offense looks like shit. And your defense has been getting ran over and beat up. And your team is beat up. And then you have a coaching staff here who is either A, unwilling to change the design of their schemes, or 2, believe they have a quarterback that can't execute the offense that they want, which is problematic considering you're playing Brian Flores in this defense. Two and a half points as the spread seems right. Philadelphia being favored, I think, is a little bit of a tough call. I think this is a pick'em game, and I guess the spread indicates that. And despite my diatribe about the Eagles in this game, how I believe the defense is not going to be able to cover Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, how I believe this run defense right now, which I really didn't get into, this run defense in Philadelphia has been getting such... I mean, they have been getting pushed around in Philadelphia in the trenches right now. The offensive and defensive lines, in terms of running ability, run defense, and run offense, have not performed well. They really haven't. And it's been reflective of the rest of the roster on the team, because without the dominance that we saw last season, this team looks like it's been really struggling to put up points on the board. You realize the last 2 games, the Philadelphia Eagles have put up 17 points per game, averaging 5.7 yards per play. That's astronomically stupid low. That's not going to be good enough in this game. So your only hope, my final thoughts here, your only hope for the Philadelphia Eagles to somehow pull this game out of their ass on the road after the shellacking they took against the New York Football Giants is if somehow you believe that this offense will generate enough scoring ability and scoring opportunities to score more than 28 points in this game. I'm going to look up something real quick because something just popped in my head. How good are the Minnesota Vikings scoring defense? Let's see. Minnesota Vikings scoring defense. I'm looking this up on my phone, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. It's late in the evening. In 2025, they have averaged 19.4 points per game. That's 5th in the NFL. That's pretty damn good as a defense. Their offense has been their offense averages 25 points a game, 12th in the NFL. The Eagles scoring offense in 2025, 24 points, which ranked 15th in the NFL. And then the Eagles scoring defense, 24 points per game. We're middling around a 500 football team, ladies and gentlemen. When you're giving up as many points as you're scoring and your point differential is only -1, somehow your 4-2 is beyond me. I don't get this team. I really, the more and more I think about this football team, I have no idea what to make of it anymore. The ups and downs are just, geez, again, that's another episode for another time. Again, you have to believe that this offense is somehow going to pull 28 points out of their ass. Now, they're fully capable of doing it, by the way. Let's not get it twisted. They have the talent to go ahead and pull a game out of their ass anytime in that sense. However, this season, we have not seen them be able to complete 4 quarters of complete, sustained play. We have not seen it. This team changes half to half. Hell, they change game to game, half to half, quarter to quarter, drive to drive, play to play. Jeez, man. I'll tell you what. Tea on a fall night. It's very good. This team is an enigma. It just is. And the dynamics that we have seen in this locker room are beyond me. What we're going to be walking into in Minnesota is a team that is not afraid of you, number one, because we kind of lost that aura of invincibility and superstardom. And you have a quarterback on the opposite side of the field in Carson Wentz, who, again, we appreciated his time in Philadelphia, and some people glazed the fucking time he had here, just like they glazed Jalen Hurts. But towards the end, Carson Wentz was a fucking bad quarterback. It's what he was. No matter how you slice it, I don't care if he had bad weapons or the weapons that he had at the end of the Peterson era was not like what he had here. He was a bad quarterback at the end in Philadelphia. It's why he jumped around from team to team to team. It's why he's a perennial backup now in Philadelphia. And fans are going to tell you, oh, the media in Philadelphia tried to tell you that he was the problem, that he's no good. He wasn't very good towards the end. He was great in 17, pretty good in 18, got a little bit worse as the years went on. And again, I say all of that to bring that context just to say this. You hope the offense scores more than 28, and you hope that Carson Wentz goes back to Carson Wentz type plays because he's very capable of doing it. He'll put the ball in harm's way. He'll hold on to the ball so you'll have sacking opportunities. And he'll put the ball on the ground because he's careless with the football. And that's why he's not that great of a fucking quarterback, because that's what he'll do. Brilliant arm talent, brilliant physical abilities, careless with the football. Philadelphia is going to have to capitalize on those opportunities. Vic Fangio, I think, will be able to put the defense in a position to go ahead and do so, but does he have the horses to go ahead and do it? I don't know. I know in the secondary he doesn't. The front seven, however, I believe he has the guys to get home. And that's probably what he's going to rely on. And in our offense, I know you have the damn horses. They just have not executed. Is this the week that they finally freaking execute and get the job done? I sure hope so. Normally, I pick who's going to win this game. I have no idea what to make of this freaking football game. Again, my fandom is telling me to pick the Eagles. The money line is telling me that this is going to be a tight one. I'm going to probably take the points for Minnesota here. I think they will keep it close. It's going to be a close football game because, you know, the Eagles always play in games that are super, super close outside of the Giants game. And it's going to come down to who makes the first mistake. If you go back to your conservative offense, which I believe Philadelphia is going to do, they're probably not going to make the mistake that cost them the game. And because of that, I got this game being 24-21. Philadelphia is going to win. I'm not very confident in that pick, but that's where my mind is going. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, because I have no idea what to believe about this team anymore and what to make of the situation that is this locker room and this organization and the way this offense looks, because that's really the main problem here. If the offense were even a little bit more consistent, I probably would feel a lot more confident about this game, but the offense has not been consistent. It's actually been putrid. And we're going up against a really, really tough Minnesota Vikings team who gives every quarterback problems. So, I don't know. It's not much conviction on this fall evening picking this football game. However, I will say this, though, just to finish my thoughts here and be the last thing I say, because I've taken enough of the people's time here. It really does seem like the sky is falling only after a 2-game slide. The Buffalo Bills also had a 2-game slide, and nobody's reacting the same way. Now, it's because they got Josh Allen, who's like a superstar quarterback. And again, I believe a resume speaks for himself that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 guy. Hasn't played like it at all. Doesn't throw it like it right now. Does not have the yardage to sustain that. But however, you have to give Philadelphia a little bit of benefit of the doubt here. They are the Super Bowl champions. And despite playing like crap, they are 4-2. And easily winning this game put you in a position where you are in a safe space for the NFC East crown halfway mark in the season. So we could criticize how shitty it looked and how bad it is right now in Philadelphia, but being 4-2 in the National Football League today is 4-2. And I know a lot of teams are 4 wins and 2 losses right now, but this is the time of the year where you start separating yourself, where you start to become truly who you are. And in the NFC, there is no juggernaut. There really isn't. The best team, I think, right now in the NFC is probably the Buccaneers, and then the Rams, and maybe the Seahawks. So the Seahawks look good. But outside, I mean, you can't convince me that Philadelphia can't go into any of those buildings and beat them. Right? Philadelphia is just in a spot right now where don't dare sleep on them. However, you lose to Minnesota, you got a big problem on your hands. You do. Because now all of a sudden that's 3 straight. And then you got the New York Giants who are going to smell blood in the water, and then you enter your bye week. So Philadelphia has to win this game. And I think they understand that they have to win this game. So I'm putting my faith in the talent of this football team. I'm putting my faith in the offensive talent that's there with AJ, Devontae, and Saquon. And I'm thinking Jalen Hurts is going to come out, throw for 250 and 2 touchdowns, and play a clean game against this Brian Flores defense. And then he's going to kind of put to bed, at least for a moment, that this team can't beat a team that's got zone complex schemes here. So, like I said, 24-21, Philadelphia wins this football game. Not super confident about it, but I think that's where my mind is at. Let me know what you think, and then we'll have a post-game reaction right back here at the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. Hey. Thank you so much for watching the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. If you want to continue to support the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Riding the Bench Eagles Pod. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us next time here at the Riding the Bench Eagles Podcast.